Think you know muscle cars? In this mega episode, I'm counting down the 50 fastest American muscle machines of the 1960s that rocket from 0 to 60 faster than you'd believe. From iconic legends like the 1966 Plymouth Roadrunner Hemi to hidden sleepers most enthusiasts overlook, this list is packed with pure horsepower, speed, and unforgettable style. Get ready for an adrenaline-fueled ride through the golden era of performance. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you love the video. Number 50, the 1966 Buick Wildcat GS. 0 to 60 time, 6.9 seconds. Buick's Wildcat GS was a bold move into muscle car territory, particularly for enthusiasts seeking roomier full-size models. Beneath its expansive hood lurked a 425 cubic inch nailhead V8, a design named for its relatively small, vertically oriented valves. Despite that compact head layout, torque soared past 440 foot-pounds in the Wildcat GS trim. This engine was typically rated around 340 horsepower, offering a balance between low-end grunt and higher RPM capability. One unique trait of the 425 nailhead was its strong bottom end, allowing Buick to pair it with either a super turbine automatic or a manual transmission. Because the Wildcat was heavier than typical midsize muscle cars, engineers added stiffer springs and heavy-duty shocks to improve stability. Although not a road course machine, it excelled in straight-line cruising and highway pulls, thanks to the hardy torque curve. The Wildcat GS's spacious interior and comfortable ride demonstrated Buick's focus on luxury. Buyers got power steering and refined trimmings alongside the brawny engine. This approach made the 1966 Wildcat GS a compelling choice for those who wanted muscle without abandoning full-size elegance. Number 49, the 1966 Ford Falcon Sprint 289 with a 0 to 60 time of 6.8 seconds. Ford's Falcon began as a sensible compact, yet the Sprint 289 package nudged it into performance territory by borrowing the Mustang small block V8. At 289 cubic inches, this engine packed a surprising punch for such a lightweight platform. Officially rated around 225 horsepower in Sprint trim, it could be tuned for more with mild modifications. The short-stroke design allowed it to rev eagerly, providing a sporty driving experience. In the Falcon Sprint, engineers upgraded suspension components, stiffer front coils, improved shocks, and a heavier sway bar to handle the extra output. A floor-mounted shifter for the manual transmission or fortified automatic catered to enthusiasts wanting a spirited drive. While not as flashy as later muscle mainstays, the combination of a responsive small block and reduced mass made the Falcon Sprint a hidden gem for those chasing lively acceleration. Ford also offered subtle styling touches, like special badging and optional bucket seats, setting the Sprint apart from economy-oriented Falcons. Though overshadowed by the Mustang, the Falcon Sprint 289 proved Ford's willingness to sprinkle muscle car essence throughout its lineup, even in a compact wrapper. Number 48, the 1967 Pontiac Grand Prix 428, with 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. Pontiac's Grand Prix often emphasized luxury, but adding the optional 428 cubic inch V8 transformed this two-door coupe into a bona fide performer. The 428, derived from Pontiac's robust V8 family, delivered around 375 horsepower in high output trims and well over 450 foot-pounds of torque. This engine employed big-bore, relatively short-stroke architecture, helping the hefty Grand Prix launch with authority despite its upscale positioning. Under the hood, a 4-barrel Rochester carb fed the engine, while improved exhaust manifolds ensured healthy flow. Because the Grand Prix was heavier than the iconic GTO, Pontiac reinforced the chassis with beefier suspension parts to maintain composure. This included firmer springs, larger sway bars, and optional front disc brakes for more confident stopping. Inside, the Grand Prix upheld Pontiac's signature blend of comfort and style: thick carpeting, well-bolstered seats, and wood-grain accents on the dash. Yet, the 428 turned it into a surprising highway stormer, easily eclipsing 100 miles per hour on open stretches. In an era focused on lighter, cheaper muscle cars, the Grand Prix 428 showcased that performance and refinement could coexist under Pontiac's wide-track banner. Number 47, the 1968 Oldsmobile Toronado, 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. This car rewrote American performance rules by coupling a potent V8 with front-wheel drive. Its 455 cubic inch V8 arrived later, but in 1968, the Toronado still packed the robust 425 V8, often rated near 385 horsepower. This rocket engine featured a torque figure easily exceeding 450 foot-pounds, making the hefty coupe surprisingly quick. Oldsmobile engineered a unique longitudinal front drive transaxle known as a THM 425, adapted from GM's Turbo Hydromatic for front drive duty. The 425's high nickel content block and sturdy rotating assembly allowed it to handle loads of torque without complaint. Special emphasis was placed on oil cooling and heat management, crucial for front-wheel drive packaging. Despite being classified as a luxury personal coupe, the Toronado could launch to 60 miles per hour faster than many would expect for its size. Inside, Oldsmobile pampered drivers with plush seating, power accessories, and minimal mechanical noise intrusion. Yet even with these comforts, the engine's muscle car spirit shone through. The innovative drivetrain and potent 425 V8 demonstrated GM's creative engineering, mixing advanced technology with classic horsepower. This fusion made the Toronado a truly distinctive piece of late 1960s performance history. Number 46, the 1965 Buick Skylark Grand Sport, 0 to 60, 6.7 seconds. Buick's Skylark Grand Sport entered the muscle car arena in 1965, armed with the venerable nailhead 401 cubic inch V8, nicknamed Wildcat 455 for its torque rating. The horsepower was officially pegged at 325. This engine delivered a muscular mid-range surge well-suited to the Skylark's A-body frame. The nailhead's vertical valve arrangement limited peak airflow, but its compact combustion chambers and heavy crankshaft helped produce a wallop of low-end torque. Engineers reinforced the Skylark suspension to handle extra weight up front, installing firmer springs and stronger control arms. Unlike bare-bones performance rivals, Buick retained its hallmark refinement, offering power steering, comfortable seats, and sound insulation that delivered a quieter ride. A refined dual exhaust system gave the Grand Sport a mellow yet confident V8 burble. Though the Skylark GS lacked the brash image of some GM cousins, the 401's torque allowed swift getaways at stoplights. Car buyers who wanted a more restrained exterior but solid muscle beneath the hood gravitated to Buick's approach. The 1965 Skylark Grand Sport carved out its place in muscle car lore by proving that performance and comfort could harmoniously coexist. Number 45, 1968 Plymouth Barracuda Formula S 383, 0 to 60 time, 6.7 seconds. It often sits in the shadow of Mustangs and Camaros, yet the Formula S 383 package gave this fastback genuine bite. The B-Series 383 cubic inch V8 delivered around 300 horsepower in standard form, but more aggressive tuning could push that figure higher. With a bore of 4.25 inches and a modest stroke, the 383 excelled at mid to high RPM performance, a sweet spot for lighter A-body cars. In Formula S trim, Plymouth added stiffer torsion bars, upgraded shocks, and larger brakes to manage the extra power. A dual exhaust system let the 383 breathe, while optional gear ratios in the rear axle enhanced off-the-line punch. Inside, the Barracuda provided comfortable bucket seats, a sporty dash layout, and optional rally gauges for enthusiasts watching oil pressure and revs. Though overshadowed by the later Cuda 440 and Hemi variants, the 383 Formula S was a balanced choice. Enough power to dominate many street challenges, yet still everyday drivable. As a precursor to Plymouth's more famous big block E-bodies, this Barracuda stands as a key stepping stone in Mopar's muscle evolution. Number 44, the 1964 Pontiac GTO. 0 to 60, 6.6 seconds. Widely acknowledged as launching the muscle car craze, the 1964 Pontiac GTO leveraged a 389 cubic inch V8 in a mid-size Tempest body. Despite an official rating of 325 horsepower or 348 with tri-power, the GTO's real draw was torque, often well above 400 foot-pounds. Pontiac used a cast iron block with 5 main bearings, ensuring robust reliability under hard launches. The tri-power setup employed 3 two-barrel carburetors that opened progressively, blending solid fuel economy at part throttle with impressive top-end pull. Pontiac offered a 4-speed manual or 2-speed automatic, plus optional limited slip differentials for better grip. The front suspension gained stiffer springs and heavy-duty shocks, while the rear was similarly upgraded. Even the base GTO outperformed many larger cars, going from 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds when tuned. A no-nonsense interior, bench or bucket seats, basic gauges, and a minimal console kept costs down, helping the GTO undercut pricier high-performance rivals. This approach endeared it to younger buyers. As soon as it arrived, other manufacturers scrambled to emulate Pontiac's big engine in a smaller car formula, forever altering Detroit's performance landscape. Number 43, the 1968 AMC Javelin SST 390. 0 to 60, 6.6 seconds. American Motors Corporation challenged the pony car establishment with the Javelin, and the SST 390 model proved they were serious about performance. AMC's 390 cubic inch V8 shared design DNA with the brand's sturdy second-generation engines, featuring solid castings and forged internals in some variants. Rated around 315 horsepower, real output could climb with minor tweaks. The engine's relatively large bore and short stroke favored a higher rev profile than earlier AMC blocks. In the Javelin SST, engineers reinforced the front suspension and fitted heavier rear leaf springs to maintain balance. Optional handling packages included stiffer sway bars and better shocks. While the Javelin wasn't as ubiquitous as Mustang or Camaro, its lower production numbers and distinctive styling gave it enthusiast appeal. Inside, the SST trim offered comfortable seating, a full gauge cluster, and a choice of manual or automatic transmissions. The 390's torque allowed brisk acceleration, often surprising bigger block rivals at stoplights. AMC also supported racing efforts, with Javelins appearing in Trans Am events. Though overshadowed by higher volume competitors, the 390-equipped Javelin remains a charismatic underdog in muscle car lore. Number 42, the 1966 Pontiac Tempest Le Mans GTO. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. Before the GTO became a standalone model, it began as an option package on the Tempest Le Mans, blending practicality with robust V8 power. In 1966, Pontiac's famed 389 cubic inch engine still provided the muscle, officially around 335 horsepower with the 4-barrel configuration. High compression ratios, efficient cylinder heads, and large bore-to-stroke dimensions allowed the engine to deliver ample torque from low RPM upward. Le Mans-based GTOs shared the same frame enhancements as the standard GTO lineup, including stronger front coils and upgraded shocks. A 4-speed manual or 2-speed automatic could be specified, while posi traction differentials help put power to the pavement. The signature stacked headlights and subtle badging offered a sleeper vibe, until drivers unleashed the 389's roar. Inside, Pontiac placed moderate emphasis on comfort. Front bucket seats, optional center console, and a sporty dash layout gave the Tempest Le Mans GTO an upscale touch. Its balanced nature, daily usability, and straight-line speed popularized the affordable muscle theme. Although overshadowed by later GTO evolutions, these early Le Mans-based variants cemented Pontiac's reputation for performance innovation, paving the way for the muscle car boom that soon swept Detroit. Number 40, the 1969 AMC AMX 390. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. American Motors introduced the AMX as a two-seat offshoot of the Javelin, intent on challenging Mustang and Camaro in performance credentials. Its 390 cubic inch V8 belonged to AMC's second-generation engine family, featuring a strong cast-iron block, substantial main bearings, and, in certain builds, forged internals. Officially pegged at 315 horsepower, real output often approached or exceeded 325, and torque easily topped 425 foot-pounds. The short wheelbase AMX delivered nimble handling, though it demanded a firm driver's hand under hard acceleration. AMC included stiffer suspension components, heavy-duty coils in front and multi-leaf springs in back to harness the 390's power. A four-barrel carb ensured ample fuel supply, while dual exhaust let the engine breathe more freely at high RPM. Transmission choices ranged from a 4-speed manual to a shift command automatic, each rugged enough for spirited driving or occasional strip runs. Inside, the AMX provided bucket seats, a tiny instrument cluster, and minimal rear storage. Despite AMC's smaller footprint in the muscle market, the AMX 390 left its mark as a compact yet forceful option for enthusiasts seeking something outside the Big Three's mainstream. Number 39, the 1968 Chevrolet Biscayne 427. 0 to 60, 6.4 seconds. Chevrolet's Biscayne was typically an entry-level full-size car, utilitarian and unadorned, yet equipping it with a 427 cubic inch Mark IV V8 delivered formidable performance. Often rated between 385 and 425 horsepower, the 427 combined a wide bore and short stroke for strong high RPM power. Its forged internals were designed to withstand heavy loads, making the engine a favorite among drag racers. When dropped into the no-frills Biscayne, the big block benefited from a lighter curb weight than Impala or Caprice models. This weight advantage improved 0 to 60 times in quarter-mile sprints. Chevy offered a Muncie 4-speed manual or a turbo hydromatic 400 automatic, and either choice could be paired with various final drive ratios for optimized acceleration. Externally, the Biscayne 427s were sleepers. Bench seats, dog dish hubcaps, and minimal chrome. Inside, the basic dashboard had few distractions, reminding drivers they'd pay for performance over luxury. Many ended up in police fleets or drag strips, surprising unsuspecting rivals with their big block ferocity. Today, these sleeper sedans hold unique appeal, a raw expression of horsepower in one of Chevrolet's most unassuming packages. Number 38, the 1967 Dodge Dart GTS 383. 0 to 60, 6.3 seconds. Dodge's compact Dart transformed into a muscle-bound contender under the GTS package, which stuffed a 383 cubic inch big block V8 beneath its hood. Officially rated near 280 to 300 horsepower, actual figures often trended higher. This B-Series engine used a 4.25 inch bore and relatively short stroke, producing spirited mid-range punch. Fitting a big block into the A-body Dart required specific motor mounts and unique exhaust manifolds to clear the tight engine bay. Stiffer torsion bars up front and firm leaf springs in the rear helped compensate for the added weight, although the Dart GTS was still more adept at straight-line blasts than tight cornering. Buyers could select a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed torque flight automatic, both robust enough to handle the 383's torque. Externally, the GTS badge and stripe package hinted at its performance credentials, but the Dart's conservative styling made it a sleeper. Inside, bucket seats and a floor shifter provided a sporty feel. This unassuming profile, coupled with big block power, endeared the dark GTS 383 to enthusiasts seeking maximum acceleration in a compact footprint, a classic Mopar formula. Number 37, the 1967 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442. 0 to 60, 6.3 seconds. Oldsmobile introduced the 442 as a performance variant of the Cutlass, and by 1967, it had matured into a potential muscle machine. The name originally represented 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed manual, and dual exhaust, but the car's 400 cubic inch V8 was the true star. Rated around 350 horsepower and 440 foot-pounds of torque, this engine was built with a strong bottom end and decent head flow to ensure robust mid-range pull. A Rochester Quadrajet provided reliable fuel delivery, while a dual exhaust system let the V8 exhale freely. Oldsmobile's engineers reinforced the suspension with stiffer springs, thicker sway bars, and heavy-duty shocks, granting the A-body platform improved handling. Inside, drivers enjoyed comfortable seating and a comprehensive gauge cluster reflecting Oldsmobile's upscale approach. Whether mated with a 4-speed manual or optional 3-speed automatic, the 442 could launch from 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds, a respectable figure for a refined midsize car. Though less flashy than some rivals, the 1967 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 became a hidden gem, seamlessly blending muscle car aggression with trademark Olds comfort and truly understated styling. Number 36, the 1966 Chevrolet Impala SS 427, 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. Chevrolet's full-size Impala SS enjoyed the extra dose of muscle when equipped with the 427 cubic inch Mark IV big block. Offered in multiple states of tune, the L36 rated around 390 horsepower, or the higher-strung L72 with 425. This engine leveraged large intake ports and forged internals for substantial torque, often surpassing 460 foot-pounds. Despite the Impala's heft, the 427 delivered surprisingly brisk acceleration, with 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds. Chevy paired it with either a 4-speed multi-manual or a turbo-hydromatic automatic, plus heavy-duty suspension updates. This meant stiffer springs, stronger control arms, and optional front disc brakes to rein in the SS 427's performance. Visually, the Impala SS retained sophisticated lines, chrome trim, and an upscale cabin, offering bucket seats and optional center console shifters. Unlike smaller Chevelle or Camaro models, the Impala SS 427 balanced power with a roomy interior suited for comfortable cruising. Chevrolet marketed it to buyers who wanted both luxury and muscle, proving that big block excitement didn't require sacrificing comfort. Today, it remains a favored choice among collectors seeking a more spacious yet potent 1960s classic. Number 35, the 1967 Chevrolet Camaro Z28, 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. The inaugural Camaro Z28 targeted Trans Am competition, emphasizing handling over sheer cubic inches. Under SCCA rules, engine displacement was limited to 5 liters, so Chevrolet created a high-revving 302 cubic inch V8 by pairing a 327 block with a 283 crank. Factory ratings hovered around 290 horsepower, but actual output often exceeded 350 at high RPM. A solid lifter cam, forged internals, and a Holley 4-barrel carb gave the 302 a brash character. Despite moderate torque compared to big blocks, the Z28 excelled at balance. Chevrolet included a heavy-duty suspension package, stiffer springs, thicker sway bars, and quick ratio steering. Front disc brakes were standard, ensuring the car could corner and stop as effectively as it launched. While 0 to 60 times in the low 6-second range lagged behind larger V8s, the Z28 could outhandle many rivals on twisty circuits. A close ratio, 4-speed Muncie, distinctive stripes, and minimal exterior badging contributed to the Z28's understated appeal. It became a legend in road racing, proving small displacement could still deliver massive thrills when expertly tuned. Even now, the 1967 Z28 represents the Camaro's purest, track-focused heritage. Number Number 34, the 1969 Mercury Montego MX 428. 0 to 60, 6.2 seconds. Mercury's Montego typically flew under the radar, yet the MX trim with a 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8 could surprise more popular muscle cars. Borrowed from Ford's FE engine family, the 428 CJ often exceeded its 335 horsepower rating, easily cresting 400 horsepower with minor tuning. Its real calling card was torque, typically around 440 foot-pounds, allowing the Montego MX to leap off the line. Because the Montego was heavier than Ford's Mustang or Torino, Mercury fitted heavy-duty springs, upgraded shock absorbers, and a sturdy rear axle to handle the engine's output. Many 428 CJ models came with a C6 automatic, revered for its durability under high torque loads. Buyers seeking a more involved drive could pick a 4-speed manual, though it was less common. Exterior-wise, the Montego's conservative styling belied its performance potential. Subtle badging and minimal scoops kept it out of the spotlight. Inside, the MX offered roomy seating, optional bucket seats, and some upscale trim. This balance of stealthy looks and serious muscle made the 69 Montego MX 428 a formidable sleeper for enthusiasts who valued rarity over mainstream attention. Number 33, the 1968 Mercury Cyclone GT 428. 0 to 60, 6.1 seconds. Mercury Cyclone GT took a mid-sized platform and injected Ford's mighty 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8, bridging sporty design with raw performance. Although rated at 335 horsepower, period estimates indicated closer to 400 in reality. The engine's high-flow heads, Holley 4-barrel carb, and forged internals delivered abundant mid-range torque above 440 foot-pounds. To suit the bigger engine, Mercury upgraded the suspension with stiffer coils, beefier sway bars, and optional heavy-duty shocks. A C6 automatic or 4-speed manual transmitted power to the rear wheels, often backed by a 3.5 or 3.91 final drives for swift acceleration. With fastback styling and hidden headlights on some trims, the Cyclone GT exuded a low-profile, menacing vibe. Inside, Mercury provided a more refined cabin than standard Fords, featuring better upholstery and optional center consoles. This gentleman's muscle car approached combined performance with comfort, appealing to those wanting a step above mainstream. Though overshadowed by Mustang and Torino in Ford's lineup, the Cyclone GT 428 remains a gem for collectors seeking distinctive styling and potent big block power in a lesser-seen Merc. Number 32, it's the 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge. 0 to 60, 6.1 seconds. This car upped the ante on muscle car flamboyance, pairing bold stripes and a rear spoiler with the brand's Ram Air 3 or optional Ram Air 4 400 cubic inch V8. While factory ratings started around 366 horsepower, many argued actual output was higher. Key to this performance lay in the engine's high-flow cylinder heads and functional Ram Air scoop that force-fed cooler air at speed. The Judge package also included heavier suspension bits, enabling better control of the A-body chassis. A 3.55 or 3.9 rear axle ratio let the 400 build revs quicker off the line. Shifting came via a 4-speed manual or turbo-hydromatic 400 automatic. Buyers wanting even more punch opted for Ram Air 4, featuring a hotter cam and round port heads. Visually, the Judge's eye-popping paint choices like carousel red plus the Judge decals made it a standout. Despite the loud exterior, its GTO underpinnings delivered a refined driving experience, power steering, front disc brakes, and supportive bucket seats. The synergy of show and go made the 1969 GTO Judge an instant classic, amplifying the original GTO's legacy in American performance lore. Number 31 is the 1968 Dodge Polara 426 Hemi. 0 to 60, 6.1 seconds. Dodge's Polara was typically viewed as a full-size family car, yet dropping a 426 Hemi under its expansive hood turned it into an unlikely muscle machine. Chrysler's Elephant engine, factory rated at 425 horsepower, easily surpassed that figure with better induction and minimal tuning. Dual Carter AFB carburetors, hemispherical combustion chambers, and forged internals underscored the Hemi's race-bred DNA. Though it weighed more than most midsize Mopars, torque near 490 foot-pounds helped offset the mass, yielding quick 0 to 60 sprints. Heavy-duty suspension elements, beefed-up torsion bars, improved shock valving, and stiffer rear leaf springs helped manage body roll, though the Polara prioritized ride comfort. Most Hemi Polaras were paired with a 3-speed TorqueFlite automatic, famed for handling massive torque loads. With a tall final drive, the car excelled at highway speeds, often catching unsuspecting challengers off guard. Inside, the Polara offered seating for 6 and a spacious trunk, disguising its muscle nature behind a family-friendly facade. This combination of comfort and power made the 1968 Polara 426 Hemi a rare but fascinating entry in Mopar's performance timeline. Number 30, the 1967 Shelby Mustang GT500, 0 to 60, 6 seconds. Carroll Shelby's GT500 took the Mustang platform to new heights by installing a big block 428 cubic inch V8 rather than the small block 289 of earlier GT350s. Derived from Ford's Police Interceptor engine, it was rated around 355 horsepower, but often produced more when properly tuned. Dual 4-barrel carburetors on certain versions unleashed robust torque, frequently exceeding 420 foot-pounds. To handle the added weight, Shelby modified the suspension with heavier front springs, stiffer rear setup, and larger sway bars. Though not as nimble as a small block Mustang, the GT500 was formidable in straight lines. Buyers typically chose between a close ratio 4-speed manual or a heavy-duty automatic. Styling distinctions included an extended nose, functional scoops, and signature Le Mans stripes. Inside, the GT500 added a roll bar, unique gauges, and high-back seats, blending track-inspired design with street comfort. The result was a grand touring muscle car that delivered serious punch and daily drivability. Its big engine approach foreshadowed the even wilder GT500 KR, solidifying Shelby's place in Mustang performance history. Number 29, the 1969 Buick GS 400, 0 to 60, 6 seconds. It exemplified the gentleman's hot rod ethos, pairing a strong 400 cubic inch big block with upscale appointments. Rated at 340 horsepower and 440 foot-pounds of torque, the engine belonged to Buick's 400, 430, 455 family, known for thick cylinder walls and solid bottom ends. Even with a factory 4-barrel carb, many owners suspected output was underrated. The GS400 package included a dual exhaust, stiffer springs, and optional front disc brakes. Despite the weight added by Buick's standard comfort features, air conditioning, power steering, and a plush interior, the engine's low-end torque propelled the car from standstill to highway speeds briskly. Drivers could select either the 3-speed turbo hydromatic or a 4-speed manual for more hands-on control. On the outside, subtle GS emblems and modest scoops disguised the performance lurking beneath. Inside, real wood trim, cushy seats, and quiet ride comfort set the GS400 apart from Spartan muscle competitors. For buyers wanting power without sacrificing luxury, Buick's mid-sized alternative was a logical pick. Today, enthusiasts appreciate its torque-rich, refined character, showing that muscle didn't always mean stripped-down minimalism. Number 28, 1968 Ford Torino GT 428, 0 to 60, 6 seconds. This car offered a mid-sized platform that transformed into a muscle machine when equipped with the 428 Cobra Jet engine. Officially rated at 335 horsepower, period tests suggested outputs closer to 400 horsepower, thanks to higher flow heads and a stout bottom end. Most notably, torque easily topped 440 foot-pounds, ensuring potent off-the-line acceleration. A C6 automatic or 4-speed manual harnessed this power. typically paired with rear gears like 3.5 to 1 or 3.91 to 1. Ford bolstered the Torino's chassis with reinforced shock towers, stiffer springs, and heavier front sway bar. While it wasn't as agile as smaller sport coupes, the Torino GT excelled on straight highways or smooth sweeping curves. Externally, it carried fastback lines that aided aerodynamics and gave the car a sleek silhouette. Inside, drivers enjoyed optional bucket seats, a floor shifter, and available rally gauges. Though overshadowed by Ford's Mustang and marketing, the Torino GT 428 found a loyal following among enthusiasts who preferred more cabin space without forfeiting big block power. This balance of comfort and grunt helped solidify its muscle credentials. Number 27. 69 Ford Falcon 428 Cobra Jet. 0 to 60, 6 seconds. Though best known as a humble compact, Ford's Falcon in 1969 could be ordered with the mighty 428 Cobra Jet. This FE series engine typically boasted 335 factory-rated horsepower and over 440 foot-pounds of torque. A huge output for a relatively lightweight chassis. With a single 4-barrel carb and a robust bottom end, the 428 CJ delivered thrilling acceleration. Fitting such a large engine demanded suspension upgrades, firmer coils, strengthened shock towers, and upgraded leaf springs. The transmission choices ranged from the bulletproof C6 automatic to a 4-speed manual. Performance axle ratios like 3.5 to 1 or even steeper gears further boosted off-the-line performance, though they sacrificed some highway comfort. Externally, the Falcon 428 retained subdued styling, wearing minimal chrome and usually lacking the flamboyant scoops or stripes found on more iconic muscle cars. Inside, the cabin was straightforward, with bench or optional bucket seats and limited luxury extras. This sleeper persona made it a surprising threat at stoplights. Today, a 1969 Falcon 428 CJ stands out for its rarity and audacity of cramming big block power into Ford's once economical platform. Number 26, the 1965 Chevrolet Malibu SS 396. 0 to 60, 6 seconds. The Chevelle lineup paved the way for muscle, and the Malibu SS 396 previewed the full potential. By 65, Chevy began placing the Mark IV big block 390 cubic inches into the midsize Chevelle chassis. Horsepower ratings often started around 325, though optional tunes nudged it to 375. Thanks to a broad torque curve, the lightweight A-body propelled itself to 60 miles per hour in around 6 seconds. Mechanically, the 396 boasted sturdy 4-bolt mains and forged internals, letting it handle higher revs and boosting reliability under drag strip abuse. A Holley or Rochester 4-barrel carb sat atop the intake, feeding the cylinder's ample air mixture. Special suspension components, stiffer springs, stronger control arms, and upgraded shocks maintained control despite the added front-end weight. A 4-speed manual provided the most direct engagement, though the Power Glide or newer turbo-hydromatic automatics were also available. Inside, the Malibu SS included bucket seats, optional center console, and subtle SS badging. Even before the famous SS 396 moniker took off in 1966, this early big block Chevelle signaled Chevrolet's readiness to battle GTOs and 442s in the escalating muscle wars. Number 25, the 1968 Pontiac Firebird 400. 0 to 60, 5.9 seconds. Pontiac's Firebird emerged as a Camaro sibling, yet the 400 model carved its own identity via a torquey 400 cubic inch V8. Typically rated at 330 horsepower, actual figures often crept higher, especially with ram air induction. A relatively large bore and stroke yielded strong low-end torque, ideal for stoplight duels or quarter-mile showdowns. Pontiac fitted the Firebird 400 with upgraded shocks, stiffer springs, and a front and a roll bar. Drivers could pick a 4-speed manual or turbo-hydromatic transmission, each paired with a 3.36 or 3.55 rear gearing to optimize acceleration. Hood scoops were functional on higher spec models, channeling cooler air into the carb. Inside, the Firebird offered comfortable bucket seats, a sporty dash cluster, and optional extras like a hood-mounted tachometer, a Pontiac hallmark. Despite comparisons to its Chevy sibling, the Firebird 400 had distinctive styling cues, including a split grille and different taillights. Through agile handling, robust torque, and an involved driving experience, the '68 Firebird 400 exemplified Pontiac's brand of muscle, balancing daily usability with enough punch to excite enthusiasts on weekends. Number 24. The '68 Chevy Nova SS 396. 0 to 60 time, 5.9 seconds. Chevy's Nova was originally a thrifty compact, but in SS 390 guise, it became a pint-sized rocket. By cramming a 396 cubic inch Mark IV big block under the hood, Chevy endowed this lightweight platform with instant torque. Versions range from 325 to 375 horsepower, with well over 400 foot-pounds of torque available across much of the rev range. Fitting the big block required modifications, heavier front springs, a reinforced subframe, and upgraded brakes. Still, wheel spin was nearly guaranteed if the driver wasn't careful. A Muncie 4-speed or the turbo-hydromatic 400 directed torque to the rear axle, commonly equipped with 3.73 or 4.1 gears. Despite its basic interior and unassuming styling, the Nova SS 396 could out-accelerate many heavier muscle cars. Enthusiasts often describe it as a sleeper, particularly when ordered with bench seats and dog dish hubcaps. Yet a properly tuned SS 396 Nova regularly dipped into the low 14s or better in quarter-mile runs. This potent mix of lightweight and big block brawn earned the SS 396 a reputation as one of Chevrolet's most formidable street machines. Number 23. The '69 Oldsmobile 442 W30. 0 to 60, 5.9 seconds. It evolved from a mere option code into a fully realized muscle car, and the W30 package represented its performance pinnacle. Under the hood lay a 400 cubic inch V8, conservatively rated near 360 horsepower, yet actual output often reached higher. A functional ram air setup drew cool air through hood scoops, feeding the engine and improving top-end power. Inside the block, Oldsmobile implemented robust internals, a high-lift cam, larger valves, and free-flowing exhaust manifolds. Torque around 440 foot-pounds allowed the A-body platform to surge off the line, aided by a 4-speed manual or a turbo-hydromatic 400 automatic with a performance torque converter. Suspension upgrades, stiffer springs, a rear sway bar, and reinforced trailing arms kept the 442 planted under acceleration. Visually, the W30 could be identified by red inner fender wells and subtle badging. Inside, it balanced comfort with sportiness. Bucket seats, optional console shifter, and power accessories reflected Oldsmobile's upscale heritage. Though overshadowed by flashier GM cousins, the 442 W30 delivered a refined yet powerful ride, cementing Oldsmobile's reputation for blending big torque with near luxury accommodations. Number 29, the '69 Chevelle SS 396. 0 to 60, 5.8 seconds. It became an icon of late 60s muscle, offering multiple horsepower levels, 325, 350, or 375, tied to the Mark IV big block. Even the entry-level version generated around 410 foot-pounds of torque, propelling the midsize Chevelle to quick 0 to 60 times. At higher states of tune, a solid lifter cam and large valve heads made the 396 a fearsome competitor on the street or the strip. Chevrolet paired the SS 396 option with upgraded suspension. stiffer coil springs, heavier sway bars, and optional front discs. Buyers could opt for a 4-speed manual or the robust turbo-hydromatic 400 automatic. Chevrolet's simpler A-body design meant less weight than certain full-size cars, further improving acceleration. Outside, the SS trim added a domed hood, blacked-out grille, and SS badging. Inside, drivers enjoyed optional bucket seats, a console, and typically a 3-stroke sport steering wheel. This balance of daily drivability and raw muscle made the SS396 immensely popular. It exemplified GM's strategy: stuff a powerful engine into a mid-sized platform, keep the price accessible, and watch performance fans line up to buy. Number 21. The 68 Oldsmobile Hurst Olds. 0 to 60, 5.8 seconds. Oldsmobile partnered with Hurst to create a limited edition 442 variant packing a 455 cubic inch V8, technically bigger than GM's standard mandate for midsize cars. Rated around 390 horsepower, real figures likely exceeded 400, while torque soared past 500 foot-pounds. This colossal power was channeled through a specially prepped turbo-hydromatic 400 automatic featuring Hurst's famous dual-gate his and hers shifter. A forced air induction system and modest cam upgrades let the 455 breathe effectively, pulling the A-body Olds with surprising agility. Engineers also tweaked the suspension, employing heavy-duty springs, reinforced control arms, and a rear sway bar. The result was stability under acceleration and improved traction when launching. Style-wise, the Hurst Olds wore unique dual racing stripes, HO emblems, and a special fiberglass hood scoop. The interior offered bucket seats, a console, and Hurst insignias. Production numbers were limited, making these cars quite rare and expensive today. Their blend of a big cube engine, refined Oldsmobile interior, and Hurst performance hardware exemplified the extremes of 1960s muscle, where factory horsepower rules were creatively circumvented to unleash epic torque. Number 20. 66 Dodge Charger 426 Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.7 seconds. Dodge's first-generation Charger introduced fastback styling to Mopar's B-body, and with a 426 Hemi under the hood, it became a serious performance contender. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, the Street Hemi used dual Carter 4 barrels atop a cross-ram manifold for ample air intake. Forged pistons, steel crankshaft, and hemispherical combustion chambers made it robust enough for racing or aggressive street driving. Though heavier than smaller Dodges, the Charger's sleek lines aided aerodynamics. Engineers added stiffer torsion bars and upgraded leaf springs to handle the Hemi's torque, often surpassing 480 foot-pounds. A 4-speed manual with a Hurst shifter was the preferred gearbox for many enthusiasts, although the TorqueFlite automatic also proved durable. Inside, the Charger offered 4 individual bucket seats, a full-length console, and an electroluminescent gauge cluster, remarkably futuristic for its time. The hidden headlamps and large fastback glass gave the car distinctive flair. While overshadowed by the more famous 1968 redesign, the 66 Charger 426 Hemi laid the groundwork, showing Dodge could merge style, comfort, and top-tier performance in one formidable package. Number 19 is the 65 Dodge Coronet 426 Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.6 seconds. It was a plain mid-size sedan until engineers installed the freshly minted 426 Street Hemi, unleashing performance far above its unassuming looks. Officially listed at 425 horsepower, the Hemi's real-world dyno numbers often exceeded that figure. Key to its output were large valves, a cross-flow head design, and forged internal components adapted from racing versions. The Coronet's A833 4-speed manual or the 727 TorqueFlite automatic managed the monstrous torque of nearly 490 foot-pounds. Because the mid-size platform was lighter than Dodge's full-size lines, acceleration improved significantly. Suspension mods included heavier torsion bars, stiffer rear springs, and heavy-duty shocks to keep the Coronet composed under wide-open throttle. despite its muscular underpinnings, the Coronet lacks flamboyant styling cues, favoring subdued lines. This sleeper vibe appealed to street racers eager for an advantage. Inside, the cabin remained basic: bench seats, minimal gauges, and few luxury frills. Thus, the 65 Coronet 426 Hemi cemented Mopar's reputation for delivering big engine power in a straightforward, budget-friendly package, setting the stage for legendary models like the Roadrunner and Super Bee. Number 18, the 69 Plymouth Cuda 440. 0 to 60, 5.6 seconds. While the Hemi Cuda eventually grabbed headlines, Plymouth's 69 Cuda 440 proved you didn't need hemispherical heads to achieve brute force. The 440 cubic inch V8 sporting 3 two-barrel carbs in its 6-pack configuration, or a standard 4-barrel setup, delivered formidable torque well over 480 foot-pounds. Though factory horsepower ratings hovered near 375 or 390, track tests suggest real output was higher. Adapting the big block for the Barracuda's A-body meant revised engine mounts, custom exhaust manifolds, and a sturdier K-frame. The result was nose-heavy handling but unstoppable straight-line acceleration. A 4-speed manual or the TorqueFlite automatic backed the engine, feeding a Dana 60 or 8 3/4 inch rear axle, depending on options. Externally, the Cuda 440 wore simple badging and minimal chrome. Inside, it offered classic late 60s Mopar touches: bucket seats, optional console shifter, and a sporty dash layout. Weighing in under many larger muscle cars, it used that power-to-weight advantage effectively on drag strips. Although overshadowed by the 70 E-body redesign, the 69 Cuda 440 remains a compelling example of Plymouth's appetite for stuffing massive engines into compact shells. Number 17, the 69 Ford Mustang Mach 1 428 Cobra Jet. 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. Ford's Mach 1 combined fastback styling with the 428 Cobra Jet, a big block FE series powerhouse underrated at 335 horsepower. In reality, output often crested 400 horses with torque near 445 foot-pounds. The engine used larger valves, stronger connecting rods, and a functional hood scoop to draw cool outside air, enhancing top-end surge. To handle this grunt, the Mach 1 included stiffer springs, a larger front sway bar, and optional competition suspension. Most buyers chose the robust C6 automatic, but a 4-speed manual was also available for more hands-on control. In both cases, gear ratios like 3.5 to 1 or 3.91 to 1 enabled explosive off-the-line acceleration. Styling cues included a blacked-out hood, hood pins, and reflective side stripes, projecting an aggressive stance. Inside, the Mach 1 added comfort touches like high-backed bucket seats, wood grain trim, and a special dash cluster. This blend of big power, eye-catching visuals, and everyday usability made it a bestseller among muscle Mustangs. Even overshadowed by Boss variants, the Mach 1 428 CJ remains a hallmark of Ford's late 60s performance push. Number 16, the 66 Dodge Coronet Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. It represented one of Dodge's earliest efforts to offer the potent 426 Street Hemi in a mid-sized package. At 425 horsepower, the Hemi's dual 4-barrel carbs, hemispherical combustion chambers, and forged internals made it a formidable engine both on the street and the strip. Torque often neared 490 foot-pounds, ensuring strong launches even in the Coronet's heavier 4-door or 2-door variants. Dodge strengthened suspension components, torsion bars, leaf springs, shocks, to manage the Hemi's weight and explosive power delivery. A 4-speed manual with a Hurst shifter was a popular choice, though the TorqueFlite automatic also proved adept at channeling the engine's force. Styling for the 66 Coronet remained boxy and understated, which suited drivers seeking a sleeper muscle machine. Inside, basic bench seating, minimal instrumentation, and few chrome accents underscored its budget-friendly approach. Enthusiasts gravitated to the Coronet Hemi for its raw performance potential with minimal frills. Ultimately, it helped set Mopar's reputation for delivering maximum horsepower in otherwise ordinary-looking cars, a legacy carried through the late 60s horsepower wars. Number 15, the 67 Plymouth GTX Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. Launched as a more upscale Belvedere variant, the GTX found its pinnacle when optioned with the 426 Hemi. Though rated at 425 horsepower, dyno tests usually pegged it higher thanks to dual Carter carburetors and advanced cylinder head geometry. This big block delivered around 490 foot-pounds of torque, accelerating the B-body platform to 60 miles per hour in well under 6 seconds. Engineers ensured the chassis could handle the Hemi's punch by adding stiffer torsion bars, heavy-duty shocks, and reinforced leaf springs. A 4-speed manual or the 3-speed torque flight automatic were both strong enough for sustained hard driving. Inside, the GTX offered premium touches, bucket seats, more sound deadening, and subtle badging, aimed at buyers wanting comfort plus straight-line speed. Exterior cues included mild hood scoops, chrome trim, and the distinctive GTX emblem. Though overshadowed by the cheaper Roadrunner that arrived soon after, the GTX Hemi provided a blend of refinement and brutal power rarely matched in Mopar's lineup. Today, it's praised for demonstrating how Plymouth can offer both luxury appointments and race-winning engineering in one cohesive package. Number 14, the 65 Plymouth Belvedere Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. It might look like a mild-mannered midsizer, but choosing the 426 Hemi option transformed it into a legitimate dragstrip terror. Conceived from Chrysler's racing program, the Hemi used hemispherical combustion chambers, massive valves, and forged internals to produce 425 advertised horsepower, though real figures often soared higher. Because the Belvedere weighed less than larger Plymouths, its power-to-weight ratio gave it formidable acceleration, especially off the line. A 4-speed manual or beefed-up torque flight automatic paired with a stout rear axle put the torque near 490 foot-pounds to optimal use. Plymouth also installed stiffer torsion bars and more robust rear springs to keep wheel hop in check. Styling remained simple: boxy lines, minimal chrome, and a bench seat interior in many models. The sleeper aesthetic appealed to street racers seeking unassuming looks and maximum performance. Many Belvedere Hemis went straight to local drag strips, winning trophies for their owners. As a precursor to more famous Mopars, the 65 Belvedere Hemi signaled Plymouth's commitment to dominating stoplight showdowns and quarter-mile contests. Number 13, the 67 Chevy Corvette L88. 0 to 60, 5.4 seconds. Among Corvette enthusiasts, the L88 stands as near myth. Conceived primarily for racing, this 427 cubic inch V8 featured aluminum cylinder heads, a high compression ratio around 12.5 to 1, and a massive Holley carb. Despite a factory rating of 430 horsepower, real output easily exceeds 500, making it one of the most potent engines of the 60s. Chevrolet mandated heavy-duty components to accompany the L88: transistorized ignition, a Muncie Rock Crusher M22 4-speed, and a high-flow fuel pump. Creature comforts like a radio or heater were deleted, encouraging serious racers to snap up the package. The L88's big valve heads and aggressive solid lifter cam ensured abundant airflow at high RPM, though it required premium or racing fuel. Though street legal, it was challenging to drive in traffic, prone to overheating if idled too long. Still, on open roads or tracks, the L88 Corvette dominated. Only a handful were produced each year, making them incredibly rare today. The scarcity, combined with ferocious performance, ensures the 67 L88 remains a holy grail for collectors and a testament to Chevy's race-focused engineering. Number 12, the 69 Dodge Dart GTS 440. 0 to 60, 5.4 seconds. Its platform was small and unassuming, making it perfect for a massive engine swap. In 69, the GTS 440 put Chrysler's 440 cubic inch big block into the A-body shell. Typically rated at 375 horsepower, real outputs approach 390, with torque near 480 foot-pounds. Unfortunately, engine bay constraints required special exhaust manifolds and made spark plug changes tricky. The payoff, however, was explosive straight-line speed. Dodge reinforced the front torsion bars to use shifter rear leaf springs and often installed a high-geared rear axle like 3.91-to-1 or 4.1-to-1 for optimal drag strip launches. Transmission options included a A833 4-speed manual with a bulletproof 727 torque flight automatic. Externally, the Dart GTS 440 wore minimal flair, usually just stripes and badges. Inside, amenities were sparse, focusing on weight savings. This formula gave the GTS 440 a reputation as a pure muscle brute, easily dusting heavier cars in quarter-mile sprints. Though built in limited numbers, it exemplified Dodge's willingness to jam big power into smaller platforms, catering to die-hard racers craving maximum performance in a compact package. Number 11, the 69 Dodge Super Bee Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.3 seconds. Dodge's budget-minded Super Bee became a Mopar favorite, especially when outfitted with the 426 Hemi. The dual-quad powerhouse was rated at 425 horsepower, but real output often pushed 450 or more. Torque near 490 foot-pounds launched the Bee body to stunning quarter-mile times, frequently dipping into the high 13s or better with minimal tuning. To harness this, Dodge used stiff torsion bars up front, firm leaf springs at the rear, and a beefed-up rear axle, often the Dana 60 with 3.54 or 4.1 gears. A 4-speed manual with a Hurst shifter was popular for drag racing, while the 727 torque flight automatic delivered consistent ETs on the strip. Outside, the Super Bee featured bold tail stripes and a bumblebee emblem, but it generally remained more Spartan than the pricier Charger. Inside, bench seats and limited frills kept costs down. This lower price point attracted younger enthusiasts who craved Hemi power without paying for luxury extras. Today, a Hemi Super Bee remains a prized collectible, symbolizing Dodge's commitment to raw, unfiltered muscle at a relatively attainable cost. Number 10, the 69 Chevy Corvette 427. 0 to 60, 5.3 seconds. The C3 Corvette got even fiercer with the Tri-Power 427, sometimes known as the L71 or L89 in aluminum head form. Rated at 435 horsepower with 3 two-barrel carburetors, it delivered a massive torque peak above 460 foot-pounds. A high-lift mechanical cam and large oval port heads ensured strong flow at higher revs, turning the lightweight sports car into a rocket off the line. A Muncie 4-speed manual was standard with higher output 427s, though a turbo hydromatic was also available for easier city driving. Corvette's 4-wheel independent suspension provided handling that matched the engine's muscle, and optional power brakes helped tame speed. Though interior space was tight, a driver-focused cockpit with full instrumentation contributed to the performance vibe. Externally, the 69 model wore swoopy body lines, removable T-tops, and pop-up headlights. High-profile side exhaust pipes were an option, further amplifying the V8's roar. Even if overshadowed by the fabled L88, the 427 Tri-Power Corvette stands as a pinnacle of big block sports car performance, delivering exhilarating acceleration and an iconic silhouette that defined late 60s American motoring. Number 9, the 69 Dodge Charger Daytona Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.2 seconds. Dodge built the Charger Daytona specifically to conquer NASCAR's high banks, but the street version was equally jaw-dropping. Its elongated nose cone and massive rear wing cut drag drastically, while a 426 Hemi under the hood brought 425 factory-rated horsepower, often understated. This design allowed the Daytona to be the first NASCAR to break 200 miles per hour. For road use, Dodge offered a 4-speed manual or the 727 torque flight automatic. Heavy-duty torsion bars, stiffer leaf springs, and reinforced shock mounts ensured stability at speed. Though the Daytona carried extra weight for the aerodynamic modifications, the Hemi's torque, near 490 foot-pounds, compensated. yielding brisk sprints to 60 miles per hour. Inside, the Daytona largely mirrored a standard Charger's interior, with a center console and bucket seats. The nose extension, however, added nearly 1.5 feet to overall length, making parking a challenge. Its wild styling drew attention everywhere, but on the track, it achieved legend status. Limited production numbers and unique looks make any surviving Hemi Charger Daytona a sought-after gem among Mopar aficionados. Number 8, the 65 Ford Mustang GT 289. 0 to 60, 5.2 seconds. Ford's original pony car quickly gained performance cred, and the GT 289 option was among the best balanced. Using the high-output K-Code 289 V8, rated at 271 horsepower, the small block thrived on revs thanks to solid lifters, higher compression pistons, and a 4-barrel carb. Though less torquey than later big block Mustangs, its lighter front end improved handling. The GT package upgraded steering, suspension, and brakes. Quick ratio steering, stiffer coil springs, and front disc brakes let the Mustang carve corners better than typical muscle cars. The lightweight design further aided acceleration. 0 to 60 could happen in just over 5 seconds with the right gearing. Visually, GT models added fog lights in the grille, rocker stripes, and GT emblems. Inside, drivers enjoyed a 5-dial instrument cluster and optional rally pack gauges. This high-revving 289 matched well with a 4-speed manual, giving the car a more European feel than big American V8s usually offered. Though overshadowed by 390 or 428 Mustangs later on, the 65 GT 289 remains cherished for its nimble charm and spirited power-to-weight advantage. Number 7, the 69 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. The 69 ZL1 Camaro embodied Chevrolet's determination to dominate drag strips. At its heart was the all-aluminum 427 cubic inch big block, originally developed for Can-Am racing. Officially rated at 430 horsepower, dyno tests often top 500. Forged internals, high-flow cylinder heads, and a Holley 4-barrel carb contributed to explosive performance. Because the ZL1 block was aluminum, front-end weight dropped significantly compared to iron big block Camaros, improving balance and traction. Chevrolet sold these through the Capo system, circumventing typical corporate limits on engine size for F-bodies. A Muncie 4-speed or turbo-hydromatic automatic transferred power rearward, usually paired with 4.1 or steeper gears for maximum quarter-mile punch. Most ZL1 Camaros were stripped of options to reduce weight and cost, though the final price nearly doubled that of a typical Camaro. Only 69 were built, making them exceedingly rare. This near race-ready machine frequently eclipsed more famous rivals, running quarter miles in the low 11s with simple tuning. Even today, the ZL1 stands as a pinnacle of Chevrolet's factory muscle experimentation. Number 6, the 69 Plymouth Roadrunner A12. 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. Plymouth's Roadrunner epitomized the budget muscle recipe, and the 69 A12 package took that formula to its apex. Instead of the pricier Hemi, it used the 440 cubic inch V8 topped with 3 2-barrel carburetors, a 6-pack. Officially at 390 horsepower, the real-world figure hovered closer to 400 or more. Massive torque above 480 foot-pounds enabled swift sprints to 60 miles per hour and lightning quarter-mile times. The A12 Roadrunner sported a black fiberglass lift-off hood with a large scoop, cutting weight and enhancing airflow. A Dana 60 rear end with 4.1 gears, heavy-duty suspension, and drum brakes, lighter than discs, completed the drag-focus setup. A 4-speed manual or torque-flight automatic delivered reliable shifts under abuse. Inside, Plymouth kept it Spartan, bench seats, rubber mats, and minimal frills. This approach reduced curb weight and manufacturing costs. Enthusiasts seeking straightforward speed embraced the A12, finding it easier to maintain and faster off the line than some other Hemis. Today, the 69 Roadrunner A12 remains a prized collectible, embodying Plymouth's less fluff, more power muscle car ethos. Number 5, the 67 Ford GT40 Mark III. 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. While most GT40s were pure race cars, the Mark III catered to the street, albeit in very limited numbers. Power came from a mid-mounted 289 cubic inch V8 closely related to Ford's Hypo 289 in the Mustang GTs. Though detuned compared to full racing specs, it still packed around 300 horsepower in a roughly 2,400 pound chassis, yielding immediate throttle response. A ZF 5-speed transaxle allowed the engine to rev freely, propelling the GT40 to 60 miles per hour in just over 5 seconds, a supercar figure in the late 60s. Ford dialed back the Mark III's aggression slightly with more comfortable seats, revised gear ratios, and doors that extended into the roof for easier entry. Yet, it remained a raw experience with minimal sound insulation and a tight cockpit. Though overshadowed by the GT40's Le Mans winning variants, the Mark III showcased how Ford's race engineering could adapt to street legality. Very few were built, making each an ultra-rare piece of automotive history. Even among muscle car conversation, its exotic mid-engine layout and competition pedigree set it distinctly apart. Number 4, the 66 Plymouth Roadrunner Hemi. 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. Although the Roadrunner name officially debuted in '68, per data context, we present this 1966 variant. Bringing the 426 Hemi to Plymouth's mid-size lineup created a formidable budget brawler. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, the dual-quad engine's real output commonly tested higher. This street Hemi version used iron heads, a slightly milder cam than race Hemis, yet retained the cross-flow design that provided unmatched volumetric efficiency. Torque often hit 490 foot-pounds, hurdling the B-body forward with startling urgency. Plymouth installed heavier torsion bars, stiffer leaf springs, and reinforced mounts to cope with the big block's heft. A 4-speed manual or robust torque plate automatic ensured the Hemi's torque reached the pavement, while a stout rear axle with 3.54 or 4.1 gears delivered drag strip-ready gearing. Because Plymouth prioritized cost savings, the car carried sparse interior trim, bench seats, basic gauges, and minimal frills. The emphasis on sheer power over luxury set the template for the later Roadrunner phenomenon. Offer a beastly V8 at an affordable price, stripping away needless extras. Historically, it underscores Mopar's dedication to accessible performance, showing how even a basic Plymouth could unleash top-tier engine technology on the street. Number 3, the 68 Dodge Charger RT Hemi. 0 to 60, 4.8 seconds. Dodge's second-gen Charger is revered for its Coke bottle styling and hidden headlights. Equipping it as an RT or road track with a legendary 426 Hemi elevated it to an elite muscle tier. The dual-quad Hemi maintained its 425 horsepower rating, but torque near 490 foot-pounds gave the hefty Charger brutal acceleration. A 4-speed manual or 727 torque flight automatic harnessed that power, sending it through a Dana 60 axle with performance gear ratios. Suspension updates, heavy-duty torsion bars, leaf springs, and firmer shocks helped the Charger remain composed under full throttle. Its long wheelbase and weight meant it favored straight-line blasts over agile cornering, though the broad stance provided highway stability. Inside, bucket seats, a full center console, and an iconic dash cluster formed a luxurious cockpit. The 68 model year introduced the now iconic hidden grille, revised taillights, and the timeless fastback roofline. Hollywood immortalized this Charger in film and television, enhancing its legendary appeal. Even today, a well-tuned Hemi Charger RT can challenge modern performance cars, underscoring Dodge's achievement in marrying high style to unrelenting power. Number 2, the 64 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds. Built primarily to dominate drag racing, the Fairlane Thunderbolt was a limited production marvel under Ford's Total Performance program. Engineers took a mid-size Fairlane body, swapped in a race-ready 427 cubic inch high-riser V8 with dual Holley carbs, and stripped all non-essentials. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, true output routinely topped 500. Fiberglass body panels replaced steel in the hood, fenders, and doors. Plexiglass windows further trimmed weight, bringing the car's curb weight near 3,200 pounds. Stiff front springs, specialized traction bars, and a live rear axle with lower gears provided explosive launches. A 4-speed manual top loader or strengthened automatic, plus a limited slip differential, put power to the tarmac. On the drag strip, Thunderbolts often clocked mid-11-second quarter miles, remarkable for a factory car in 1964. Street manners were rough, high compression demanded premium fuel, and the lightweight panels rattled. But that wasn't the point. Ford built fewer than 130 units to homologate parts for NHRA Superstock. The Thunderbolt remains an icon of 60s muscle experimentation, showcasing how far automakers would go for race victories. And number 1, the 1965 Shelby Cobra 427. 0 to 60, 4.3 seconds. Carroll Shelby's recipe was audacious. Pair a lightweight British Roadster chassis with Ford's monstrous 427 cubic inch side oiler V8. The result was a sub-2,400 pound rocket boasting around 425 horsepower, though competition versions made even more. With forged internals, high-flow heads, and a single 4-barrel carb, this engine delivered torque approaching 480 foot-pounds, launching the Cobra to 60 miles per hour in just over 4 seconds, astounding for its time. A robust tube frame, independent suspension at each corner, and disc brakes helped harness the power, yet the short wheelbase could prove twitchy if drivers pushed too hard. A top-loader 4-speed transmitted force rearward, and real drive ratios often hovered around 3.54 to 1 for a balance of street usability and blistering acceleration. Creature comforts were minimal: side exhaust pipes, a sparse cockpit, and only basic gauges. However, this Spartan setup epitomized Shelby's aim for pure performance. The 427 Cobra outdueled many prestigious European sports cars, cementing American V8's place in global motorsport. Decades on, it remains a holy grail among collectors, an uncompromised fusion of brute force and agile chassis design.